Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Ring Ramble podcast. I'm V,
And I'm Brad.
and today we have two mics this time instead of having to switch off from one another. So it was just super awkward. But today we'll go over a recap of this week's wrestling shows, including Monday Night Raw, July 29th edition, NXT July 30th edition, and Smackdown August 2nd edition. We'll cover important moments from this week's shows, as well as provide our own insight/opinions on each match or promo or any outsider information. This is simply for fun, and please be respectful and feel free to discuss your opinions in the comments if you so choose to. So, we're going to start off with Raw July 29th edition. The show opened up with Seth Rollins arriving to the ring, first adorning a referee attire with the signature twist of shoulder pads, where he then introduced Punk and Drew to the ring to discuss their matchup at Summerslam. So, we actually made some mentions to this promo in our Summerslam predictions video, so check it out if you haven't seen it. We plan on addressing if our predictions were right following SummerSlam. That should be released right now when this video comes up. And make fun of our wild theories and stuff if you want to. Okay, so the important aspects of this promo was Seth mentioning that if either man touched him in the ring, that match would be called off at SummerSlam, which led to CM Punk leaving the ring. Drew McIntyre shared that he has the restraint to not attack Seth, which is something Punk lacks. And what I voiced in my predictions video was that it was interesting that Punk knows he has no self-control. And Seth then explains that there's only one rule in this match, and it's for Punk and Drew to listen to everything that Seth says. He hates both of them equally, and as much as they hate each other. However, if anyone were to provoke Seth during the match, he would not hesitate to correct that behavior, which is a part of my SummerSlam theory that CM Punk would be like the aggravator in the match and potentially ruin his shot at winning against Drew McIntyre. And how that would go was Seth Rollins would be provoked and, probably give him a pedigree or a curb stomp, and, Drew gets the win with the Claymore or something like that. Any thoughts on this promo?
Well, no, it actually pretty much that promo did show that that's basically what's going to happen, is that CM Punk is going to lose control, and he will probably have some sort of altercation with Seth Rollins, which probably either causes him to lose that match. They pretty much kind of pointed that out to everybody.
Okay. You're done? Yeah. So, I'm pretty sure I'm like 100% right. If I'm pretty bold about it, but I'm pretty sure I'm so right. I actually had this theory before we even saw this promo. I knew that Drew McIntyre was going to win, and there was going to be something with Seth doing something, and then that would open up a rivalry between CM Punk and Seth for likely a long time, because they do have a long history. I mean, I if I'm not mistaken, the Shield was a concept invented by CM Punk, and then when he left, that was a concept that was used, and Seth Rollins was a part of it. So I think there's like a lot of kind of intertwining. They don't like each other in real life. I mean, like we've said before, and we said it in the predictions video, or you said it actually, about Seth Rollins reacting so strongly about CM Punk when he returned at Survivor Series.
He was pretty aggressive when he saw that CM Punk returned in Chicago.
Yeah, he was like flipping him off.
Yeah, he was flipping
and all
off
that
the camera and everything.
So,
and he was cussing and swearing and saying, like, why the heck is this guy here and all that stuff. So, yeah, it pretty much establishes that there isn't really much of a they probably have respect, but they don't really like each other. And this is going to just develop in the match, because that's kind of what the idea was in the first place, which we touched on last time, is that it should have been a Seth Rollins and CM Punk. But I think because of the fact that CM Punk got hurt, it kind of put it a little bit of a delay. And then Seth Rollins was also, had his injuries as well. And this was just kind of a way to build up for this moment for them to actually compete in the ring. Most likely WrestleMania 41.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so the first match that actually took place was between Otis and Akira Tozawa versus the Creed brothers, which led to the Creeds winning. Maxine Dupree then slapped Gable for ditching the Alpha Academy, even though she was giving him a chance to work through his mistakes with mistreating all of the Alpha Academy. Eventually, the Creeds and Gable were surrounded by the Wyatt 6-6 yet again. all of which were unmasked, not counting Uncle Howdy, but the rest of the members, including Dexter Loomis, Joe Gacy, Eric Rowan, and I believe Nikki Cross too, had no mask, hinting at a possible first-time wrestling match by the Wyatt Six. So I'm so excited for this. I actually think I mentioned this in the first ever video, was that God forbid I want wrestling to happen when it came to the Wyatt Six, and I'm glad that that's now coming actually sooner than I expected, because Raw is definitely more the storyline show between like them and
it's supposed to happen
Smackdown
next Monday, that 6-man tag.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm excited for that. They're all Eric Rowan, being a part of the Wyatt family in the past. Like I thought he was awesome. So it's going to be pretty interesting. I think Joe Gacy was great when he was in NXT.
I'm glad to see Dexter Loomis in an actual major role. Instead of just coming out, like, just kind of appearing under the ring and just making awkward stares.
Well, actually, that's something I wanted to talk about. I am kind of sad that in the video that they had for Dexter Loomis, he said run or something like that. I'm like, dude, they could have kept the unmuted persona that he had.
Well, perhaps that was the reason of having him say something like run, made it sound really kind of creepy at the same time. And it is kind of a trademark word that has been used in the Wyatts before.
Well, I meant the mute persona is what I meant to say.
But I mean, you can't always be, kind of have to move the character a little bit more.
Yeah, I get it, but I just feel like in the context of the Wyatt Six, I felt like it would still be fitting for them to have a mute member of the group, and that would have definitely been him since he was already a mute character before. So, yeah. And then really quick, Jay Uso versus Carlito. Jay defeated Carlito. There wasn't really that much.
Not much of a shock on that one.
Yeah, I wasn't shocked about that one. So you need to lift up your mic, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not really shocked. So not really much to mention there. Next, The Miz was revealed to be the host of SummerSlam, leading R-Truth to get confused about what kind of host he was, and seemingly some kind of silly moment with Truth will occur at SummerSlam, because he said that he's got Miz for hosting. He's gonna help him, so something is definitely gonna happen there. Next, this is two back-to-back promos. One with Braun Breaker, suggesting that the only reason he lost to Sammy at Money in the Bank was because he didn't take him seriously, since he had a comedy show the day prior to the match. He figured it would just be a breeze. However, this time he's taking things more seriously, in which Sammy responded saying that he knows that Braun will come back stronger. However, he's ready for whatever he's going to give him. I don't think he's ready. I'm pretty sure Braun is winning this one. You don't feel that way, but
I still don't feel like it's going to happen. I still don't think he's ready to be a champion. I think he still needs a little bit of time to get to that point. And just to have it be that he gets it because he was kind of being a baby and whining about it, I don't think that's really necessary for someone like Braun. I think Braun should have just been able to grind his way to get to that point. I just didn't like the way it was built up for him to actually, if he does win this, to have a championship.
It's not necessary, but when you think about his NXT 2.0 days, he won the title relatively quick, and he held it for a very long time. So to me, I kind of feel like it does make sense that he does get the chance so soon. Especially because Tiffany Stratton and Braun Breaker were held in the same regard and the same star power at the same time, and I feel like both of them are gonna have their time pretty soon, especially Tiffany being Money in the Bank winner.
So do you think that they're both going to be winning?
Yeah, I do.
You feel
honestly,
like both of them are gonna two NXT people that just came in are going to have championships?
I think that would
tomorrow.
be. Yeah. I think that would be very interesting.
It would be interesting. That would be something to see, and it will definitely show a lot of faith that Triple H has in the future.
True, exactly, and
it's definitely not something a Vince McMahon move. It wouldn't be a Vince move, that's for sure.
No,
this really kind of pinpoints to what Triple H was saying about the new era and all that stuff, and the new direction of Triple H. That definitely is showing that he is definitely going on a different path than what Vince McMahon is doing. That's for sure.
Yeah, thankfully, because I like the fact that these newer people are involved in matches. I mean, dude, Apollo Crews, the fact that he's been involved in Baron Corbin, like, so far, I mean, that's great in my book. I know he was technically, he was something in, like, the Cruisers when, Vince was here, but I just feel like the treatment of these underdog characters has been a lot more prevalent, and I like that a lot. It makes me really happy to see something different and not just the same rotation of wrestlers frequently.
Agreed.
Yeah. And next, Liv Morgan. She was seen burning photos of Dominic Mysterio and also had, and previously other promos had destroyed the Judgment Day's clubhouse.
She was definitely having a single white female vibe. If anyone's ever seen that movie before, she was pretty bat crazy on that promo, even though they were never together.
Yeah, that's a crazy thing, right?
It's a stage 5 clinger vibe right there. Pretty frightening. I fear for Dominic's safety.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about this because I still feel pretty confident that Liv Morgan's gonna win this.
Of course. And Dominic will choose going to come to her aid, and that's how she's gonna win this.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that seems like the most likely, but I also believe that it could just, I don't know. Actually, no, you're right. Because I don't really see Dominic. I did because of the Buddy Matthews potentially coming, but he's not. So it changed a lot of my opinion. But so yeah, I think Dominic's gonna definitely make a whole switch, which would be interesting. But also not
just kind of see how they're gonna do it. That's kind of how I'm wanting to. I'm looking forward to seeing how it's gonna happen. How is it gonna pan out? What's he gonna do? Is there going to be a situation where it's like...
He's probably going to kiss her.
Well, no, I'm saying is there going to be a situation where it's going to be like both of them are kind of like on the floor or something and the referee's out and Dominic is standing there. He's looking at her. He's looking at Rhea, looking at Liv. Which one does he decide to throw the chair to?
Chair, yeah.
I mean, is there going to be something like that? Because that would be kind of hilarious to see. But yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested to see how that's going to pan out. Definitely looking forward to that match for SummerSlam.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one of the more exciting moments that will happen.
Agreed.
Okay, next was a match between Sami Zayn and Dominic Mysterio. It was pretty normal up until the Judgment Day jumped in and attacked Sami mid-match. Jey Uso came to equalize but was jumped as well, giving an opening to Braun Breaker to attack Sami Zayn, to which Sami actually prevailed and Braun had to roll out of the ring to retreat, which is kind of concerning to me because I'm kind of like, okay, well, this guy clearly is not ready for this match as he says he's been training for or whatever. So,
but if I recall correctly, didn't he come in with the spear? Didn't he try to spear once again?
He tried to spear and then he got kicked in the face or something like that. Right,
so I mean, he's been coming in with a spear every time. So I mean, Sami had to be aware. So he knows that that's going to be obviously that's his go-to move.
Unfortunately it is. I just wish he had the nice rotation of moves he had during NXT. Definitely with the military press slam, like.
Pretty sure that stuff will probably be seen in the match on SummerSlam. I'm pretty sure he'll have a little bit more. That's someone
he could definitely live because in NXT there's not nearly that many big guys. I mean, there's definitely way bigger on the main roster. So to him, it's a little bit harder to do that. I mean, the proof was there. I mean, to pick Gunther to do it during the Royal Rumble was probably not the smartest thing, but there's a lot of people like him or maybe a little smaller or bigger that I just don't really see Braun Breaker being able to lift him up or doing that as frequently as I'd hope. But hopefully in this match that he does do that. Okay, the main event was Gunther versus Finn Balor. Finn lost to Gunther via sleeper hold, which Gunther held after the ring of the bell, causing Damian Priest to enact a beating session on Gunther, throwing him through the announce desk. Well, first, I want to mention that there was a promo with Gunther talking about how great Finn Balor is as a wrestler, which, yes, for reals. Finn Balor is my second favorite wrestler of all time. My first is Kurt Angle, but we'll get into that in a different video. I love Finn Balor, and I felt like ever since he went into the Judgment Day, he's just been this lackey that gets attacked all the time, and he's just... It's just so weird. And this is not just for him, but this is for a lot of people that were successful and then kind of just, changed their image a lot. But to see someone as great as Finn Balor was in NXT to now in, the main roster nowadays, getting beat up the way that he does is just so weird to me. I know, like, times change and stuff, but...
Well, perhaps the words that Gunther was saying is just opening up that next step in Finn Balor's career, where Finn Balor's going to be more of his own man, and maybe he might be giving himself back up in the top, being back to a championship reign again. That's probably what, it seems like that's what Gunther's hinting when he says that.
Yeah, you said that he was hinting at potentially Finn betraying Damien, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So...
Because, I mean, why else would you say it? Unless there is some sort of, like, intention behind it. It's like foreshadowing in some ways. That's kind of what they were doing.
Yeah. And I do see Finn being, like, that kind of, a little bit vengeful, too, because, Seth was the first holder of this championship. Finn was one of the first people to challenge Seth for that championship, too. And to see him, like, to be in the position of getting, like, beat up all the time, and then just the other guy in your team getting all the spotlight, holding that title, and able to beat the guy who beat you, it would hurt,
Yeah.
I hope he brings out the demon, if that's the case. And then he does fight Damien in the future. I mean, I feel like that's probably the only way that that's going to happen. And I hope that they, go back to the fact that the demon was literally unbeatable for a certain amount of time, and then suddenly he was just really beatable. So... Well, definitely take it back, especially with Edge winning.
Right.
That on the WrestleMania 39, I felt like that was the wrong person. Like, no, even if I get it, he's my favorite wrestler, one of my favorite wrestlers ever, and Edge is great too, but I just felt like with the context of the match and the fact that his time was already, like, running out, I just felt like Finn should have just been that guy, especially since Edge was out of the Judgment Day. It would have really cemented the Judgment Day as a powerhouse, with all members being successful in their matches. So, that's just me. Damien Priest coming to help Finn. It's cool and all, but I just feel like it's not going to mean anything. Especially if, for sure, Finn does betray him.
Right. Agreed.
Okay, so, concluding everything. The matches that we did not discuss today was Bronson Reed versus Sheamus, which was interfered by Pete Dunne. Karrion Kross. Oh, wait, were you want to say something?
No, I'm good. I mean, anytime Bronson Reed is there, Bronson Reed's a great wrestler. I'm glad to see Bronson Reed wrestle, but I think he should be wrestling more.
I agree. And he won the Andre the Giant.
Yes, he won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, and I'm kind of wondering what exactly does that lead to for him.
Right. I think Omos won it too, and then it kind of just didn't really go anywhere.
Well, I mean,
I'm kind of scared, like...
Bronson Reed is a way better athlete and a way better wrestler.
You could work with him better, too.
Yeah, you could work with him better.
Okay, next is Karrion Kross defending against Xavier Woods again. Yeah. I don't understand. Give my boy Karrion Kross some good matchups.
Yeah, let's get him somebody. Let's get him a rivalry with somebody. I mean, other than, the New Day.
Yeah, please.
I don't know really who else they can really go up against, but I mean, like...
Somebody else.
Do something else with them would be good.
Because it takes away the seriousness of the Final Testament.
Yeah.
Because, like, the fact that they got Paul Ellering, they got two fucking big ass dudes in the AOP. I mean, like, come on, like they have to dominate someone that's big, and a bigger name and stuff like that. That would definitely not like super big, but I'm saying someone that at least can. Like, what would be an example? Let's think. Would be a good example of, like, if the AOP had to beat him or, like, Karrion had to beat him? DIY.
I mean, as current roster goes for tag teams, I mean...
In Raw, though.
On Raw, I mean, obviously, I would have said Creed Brothers, but now they're kind of turned into a darker Creed Brothers now, along with...
No, but at least that, like, if that were to even happen, I could take that seriously compared to the New Day.
Yeah,
keep in mind, I like the New Day, but...
That's when the Creed Brothers were, like, the All-American wrestling
but
guys.
And
now they're kind of
evil.
a little bit more serious. Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see, like, I kind of feel like they're kind of dropping it with Karrion Kross. I think Karrion Kross should be someone that should be a little bit more of a main kind of stay kind of guy and doing a little bit more matches and not some sort of these random, pointless kind of like directions.
Mm-hmm. And the other match was Sonya Deville, Shayna Baszler, and Zoe Stark defeating Lyra Valkyria, Katana Chance and Kaden Carter, which I'm like, whoa, that's kind of crazy that Lyra Valkyria went straight from being on the final of the Queen of the Ring to now kind of in this
I honestly
storyline.
don't remember this match.
That I said matches not discussed
Oh,
because they were
okay.
matches that were not mentioned. We watched these matches on Hulu, by the way, so they do take away some matches.
That's true.
Next week's matches, though, include the White 6-6, like we were saying, versus
great.
the Creeds and Gable, which I'm excited for, and Dakota versus Sonya Deville, which I don't even think is going to be on our thing, but we'll figure it out.
We'll see how that goes.
Okay, moving on to NXT July 30th edition. This was the Great American Bash. I guess would you say day 1 or week 1? I guess it's one day, but it's a 2-week special.
Well, I guess it would be week 1.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, week 1.
But the show opened up with the title match between Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend versus the Unholy Union, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn.
Which we pretty much figured that they were going to win this.
That the Unholy Union were going to win this, yes.
It was pretty much a given.
You know what? I kind of expected this. I just think that Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, they had a long title reign in NXT, but I just think they have a lot of communication issues. And that was very prevalent in a match like this, especially because Jakara Jackson is just not really someone who wrestles as frequently. Lash definitely does, but it was definitely a hard watch in my opinion. And Jakara Jackson's wig was falling off too, midway through the match. So I can imagine how uncomfortable that would be. It was just not. It was not it.
It was not a good start.
No, not a very good start.
Not a very good start.
And on top of that, I mean, we knew that they were going to retain. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Ethan Page came to the ring following this match to rub the loss in Jakara and Lash's face, and especially in front of Oro Mensah. And the metaphor not being very good is what Ethan Page said, to which Oro Mensah folded up Ethan to the 1-2-3. I hate this.
Yeah, it is kind of gotten a little bit goofy now. I mean, I don't know if this is obviously this should all end because they are going to be wrestling against each other next Tuesday or on Tuesday.
On Tuesday.
On
yes.
Tuesday. So this will be over once and for all. They're going to get this resolved, and somebody's going to get pinned for real this time, and that we don't have to go through this this goofy charade.
Yeah, I don't like this. It's a little too childish for me.
It's
Shawn
very
Michaels,
childish.
I think you need to probably not do this angle. Personally, I mean, I want someone like Ethan Page, especially as great as a character as he is, to be taken seriously. And I just feel like, also, I don't know. Part of me feels like maybe Ethan Page doesn't like it very much either, but it is what it is.
It's possible. Possible he doesn't like it either.
Yeah, so that's it on that. Tony D'Angelo versus Tavion Heights for the Heritage Cup Championship. Okay. This guy is such a hater. Okay, when the men's breakout tournament happened last year, he was an Obafemi guy, which rightfully so. I mean, that guy stuck out.
And I was right on what I was saying.
But I picked Tavion Heights.
Yeah, well, Tavion Heights disappeared for a long period of time, and you have Obafemi as the North American champion.
Which I find it kind of sad, too, because I feel like if Damon Kemp and Drew Gulak didn't get, thrown out, he would definitely not be in the quarter catch crew. No quarter catch crew? Yeah. I thought the match was good, though. I felt like they matched each other very well, especially being, grappler kind of guys. And
yeah.
It was good.
It was a good match.
And I feel like, I hope that this gives Tavion at least more shots, because I think he's great. I mean, that's just me. So, yeah. Last episode, the last recap, or the first recap, or first episode we ever did, we talked about Pete Dunne attacking Trick following Trick's match with Cedric Alexander. And we were kind of confused as to what the angle was for Pete Dunne, but this was kind of answered in a promo that just happened this NXT, where he gives info as to why he's been acting so cold towards Trick, suggesting that wrestlers like Trick can't handle losses well, which Pete has lived a chunk of his career embarrassed by his teammates and embarrassed by being Butch in the Brawling Brutes and accepting some defeat all the time. So Hence why he told Trick to figure everything out. I like this angle because Pete Dunne is a really good wrestler, and he's just one of those. It's kind of the same thing with Ilya Dragunov, where they're very disciplined. Like these European, these NXT UK people are very disciplined.
Yeah, very disciplined.
And I feel like it is true. I mean, dude, he needs to tell this to Wesley, bro. Wesley's the one who whines the most out of everybody.
Yeah. That is kind of the thing. That is kind of the thing on the NXT guys. It's like, you know, they are younger, and it's the younger generation. Kind of soft a little bit. You know, kind of complain when things don't go their way.
Or they just want to do things so quick. Like they want to be the champ so quick and all that stuff.
Yeah. So I mean, probably that's what this Pete Dunne's is probably saying, like telling the young whippersnapper, like, you know, to man up and all that kind of stuff. It's just, but just doing it his way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so basically you'll see Pete Dunne and Trick Williams are going to be throwing down, and I think that's going to be an excellent match for sure.
Oh, for sure. Next, my favorite part of the night, Joe Hendry.
I believe.
Yes, I believe too. He hosted his first ever concert in NXT. He sang a little song about himself and about Gallus. He suggested to move on to singing his theme song, which cut Before It Can Happen by Gallus. I was so disappointed in this, by the way. I was literally gasping in some air because I was so ready to sing it. And all of Gallus attacked Joe, and no one came out to save him, which was the most shocking thing. I'm like, I know that there was a committed fan in that crowd that would have jumped over the barrier and would have saved Joe Hendry from Gallus. That would have been me. Just kidding. Yeah. It was cool.
No, the Joe Hendry concert was awesome. The line he did about Booker T being the leader of his fan club was hilarious. When he was sitting there talking about... when he's talking about Joe Coffey saying that his dad was, what was that? The line that he was saying about, his father was fucking, it was pretty funny as well. Just can't even recall offhand what it was. But yeah, it was awesome seeing Joe Hendry out there. And then obviously, you know, it opens up a match now, you know, against Joe Hendry and
Joe Coffey.
Joe Coffey. That's gonna be a great match to see.
Oh yeah.
Anytime Joe Hendry's on NXT is great.
It's true. His smile lights up a room and makes my whole week. I mean, that first week he came to NXT, I just couldn't stop singing the song. I was just happy every time. Same. And the main event was Roxanne Perez defending against Thea Hale for the NXT Women's Championship, which Roxanne Perez retained. Now, I didn't pay attention too much to this match, I'm not gonna lie, but I am glad that it did end fair and square.
Right.
Because unlike the Thea Hale and Tiffany Stratton match that occurred last year's Great American Bash, Andre Chase threw in the towel.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, it was cool. I mean, it was kind of getting a little, just a tad bit stale. I'm not gonna complain too much about it, but it was getting a little bit stale with constant arm bar and all that kind of stuff, like submissions, rotating over and over again. Other than that, I mean, I didn't really see Thea Hale beating Roxanne. Honestly, I'm not even sure who will be next. I'm kind of wondering who Roxanne Perez is going to lose to. I would like it to be Sol Ruca, but I feel like that's just way too soon.
Well, I think that would be something that can definitely be happening in the future. Mm-hmm. But I guess if Roxanne Perez is supposed to be moving up to the main roster, my question is who is it that's going to take that championship from her to move up? And I don't think it's going to be anybody that's currently there. It would have to be someone that is currently signed that hasn't shown up yet, or some new, someone else that's new that they're going to be bringing in. Mm. So I'm interested to see how that's going to play out for her.
Mm. Okay, so matches not mentioned were Brooks Jensen versus Cedric Alexander, Jada Parker versus Kendall Gray, which I'm not even sure who that is. But then it was whoa, I didn't even put a space. Oh, yeah, okay. Fallon Henley and JC Jane and Jasmine Nix versus Lola Vice, Sol Ruca, and Carmen Petrovic. Those were the matches that were not mentioned. And next week at day 2 or week 2 of the Great American Bash, matches are Ethan Page versus Oro Mensah for the men's NXT Championship, Trick versus Pete Dunne, Joe Hendry versus Joe Coffey, Tatum Paxley versus Kalani Jordan for the Women's North American Championship.
Wow.
Wow.
I mean, the fact that Kalani and Tatum Paxley are actually having a championship match.
I know you're not the biggest Tatum Paxley fan. I'm not either very much. I don't like her angle.
Yeah, it's an odd one. She's a good wrestler though, but I mean, it's just it seems weird. They didn't really build that. They didn't build it up to having it be an actual championship match.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, they didn't. No, just the whole promo of like the creepy doll kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, something like that. And Nathan Frazier and Axiom versus MSK, which is Wesley and Zach Wentz for the NXT Tag Team Championships. I'm so hyped.
Yeah,
but
that should be a good one.
Something I'm gonna point out too was that everybody retained of the championship match in day one or week one of the Great American Bash.
Right.
Which to me, I'm like, okay, something's got to change, something's got to give, so someone's gonna lose.
So I mean, obviously, I think that Nathan Frazier and Axiom are going to probably lose.
I think it's gonna be the.
But the only thing is that the only thing I would make me think that's not going to happen is because that MSK, those guys are from TNA. I don't necessarily know if that's something that they're going to let a championship from WWE go over to TNA.
I don't know. I mean,
it's very it's possible. But I mean, but if that was the case, then why is it that when Roxanne Perez wrestled
Jordan Grace,
how come Jordan Grace didn't beat her? Which you would have thought Jordan Grace.
You would have really thought realistically, yes, she would have.
You would have think Jordan Grace would have pulled it off.
Yeah.
She would have beaten Roxanne Perez then, if that was the case.
You're right.
That's the thing. They're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna let that title go over.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
So in that case, I think the only other person who would lose is Ethan Page.
No.
I don't think he's gonna lose, but someone's gotta lose, and I don't think Tatum Paxley is gonna win it for the women's.
Maybe it's possible that no one loses.
But that was the point of the.
Sometimes titles don't always change hands every time they have something.
That's true, but I feel like it's more likely. So when it is a pay-per-view, well, it's not really even a pay-per-view.
If the relationship with TNA and NXT and WWE is going that well, and it's like it's making a lot of good moves for everybody in both companies, then maybe they do it that way.
Maybe. It's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. It's not very long from now, so.
Right.
All right. Moving on to the final show of the week, Smackdown August 2nd edition. So, the show started off with Cody Rhodes going to the ring, shortly followed by Solo Sikoa for a face-to-face. Solo asked to be acknowledged, and after a bit of "We Want Roman" chants and some Solo sucks chants,
there was certainly a lot of boos going on.
There was a lot of boos, yeah. Solo adds a stipulation for a Bloodline Rules match at SummerSlam, while Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa approached the ring.
Solo also made a very crazy comment regarding Roman Reigns, calling him a weak tribal chief.
To which Cody called Solo a wannabe tribal chief.
And he also called him a dirty SOB, which was pretty hilarious.
Oh yeah,
from
Cody said he wasn't afraid of any Bloodline member, including Jacob Fatu, to which he called Jacob Fatu dirty SOB.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
he even said it too. He's like, I might be stupid for saying this, but to Jacob Fatu of all people, I mean, that guy is so scary. Like, but I'm just proven right every single day because the fact that it's a Bloodline Rules match, I called it that the Bloodline were going to come in, which only means that Sir Roman Reigns will come in.
Yeah, Roman Reigns' music is definitely going to be kicking off tomorrow at SummerSlam.
Dude, that's going to be so great.
It's just the question is just who is he going to hit?
I know.
I mean, it would be the biggest bump of joy. There'd be so much positive energy flowing at that ring.
Bump of joy.
If he turned on Solo, but if he ends up decking Cody, you're going to hear.
Oh boy!
It's going to be.
That would be insane.
Chaos is going to erupt in that arena.
Yeah, and my neighbors will hear it too.
Yeah. That's gonna be something. That's gonna be something crazy.
And then also you said the Zilla Fatu
There's
supposedly rumor that he's in Ohio.
That he's in Cleveland. So that would be something too. I mean, they said bloodline rules.
They did.
So that means it could be all these other bloodline members that are not even signed yet or haven't met that are just going to probably show up.
Dude, that is insane. The fact that there's so many people.
I mean, but somebody has to come in and at least help Cody, I'm assuming.
That's what, yeah.
Somebody needs to.
Someone
and
needs
so
to,
that would have to be the OG tribal chief.
Roman, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And the matter of, like, if Zilla does come out and so does Roman, it's like, who does Zilla pick as
he
well?
He would be with Roman if that's the case.
Yeah, I just feel like that, like, in that case, because I'm assuming both the Uso brothers, and then possibly Sammy,
also,
maybe.
And also, I heard that Jimmy is actually cleared to return.
He's definitely going to hit somebody.
There's a possibility that Jimmy might be coming out.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, of course. He's going to be on Cody's side for sure.
Well, but I'm just saying that, he was gone, and they said that he's cleared now. So it's very possible that that actually probably guaranteed that he's probably going to show.
Oh, yeah. That's how I'm like, for sure.
Now, if I wanted to throw out one of my crazy thought processes here, I might say, like, could it be also possibly maybe The Rock? The final boss? Maybe he pops in to basically sit there and say that he's actually the actual tribal chief?
Don't forget, though, he's out probably promoting that movie about saving Santa Claus right now.
Oh, yeah, that's true. We saw the trailer for that.
What was happening?
When we saw Deadpool and Wolverine. Yes.
Oh, like, so this is what he's been doing.
Yeah, maybe not then. All right.
Okay, so the first match of the night was Andrade versus Carmelo Hayes, which
so be Andrade hype. Carmelo Hayes 2.
2, yes, which was so hype because that last match they had
was incredible.
Beautiful.
It was one of the best matches SmackDown had all year. The first time.
Yeah, exactly. But I have a question. If Andrade is the longtime reigning Speed champion, then why isn't he wearing a Speed championship?
No title, he doesn't have that championship.
Yeah, it's like, what's the point? Okay, yeah, I get it. You're gonna wear it like going to Speed, right? But like on just regular appearances, if you're the champ, wear the belt. Like, I don't understand why they don't let him wear the belt. Like, I don't know if it's like some deal with Twitter where like they have an exception where they can't because it's like legally their show or something. I don't know why it just makes the championship seem so pointless, especially for someone like Andrade who is really great. Like, you want him to flaunt the fact that he is a champion of some sort. I wish that would have been the case with Ricochet while he was still here.
Well, maybe that championship isn't anything important.
Obviously, they feel the need to mention it when we watch these shows, so why not just flaunt it?
Well, why not have those matches on, like, an actual event? And not just have it be something that's on Twitter.
Yeah, like a Speed champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, if they had a pay-per-view and it was for the Speed championship, that'd be pretty damn cool. But I get it, because the format of of those matches are, like, really fast, and it just wouldn't fit.
Yeah, I mean, I also don't have X. So I don't really know what that's all about. So if anybody that actually, is on that site or uses that app, and maybe you like to explain like why they only have it on X.
Well, it's because of the fast format. I think that's
why. You can still do that though on like a match like that. You can still do a match like that on Raw or SmackDown.
At the very least, I just think he should just wear the championship.
Yeah.
During that match too, Andrade had that natural flow. I actually like the fact that when he does his matches, he does do stuff that you would expect he would do in a match. Like, when he's distracted, push the guy. When he's distracted, kick the guy. Like, it's just flow. It's not like some stupid like, I'm hurt, I'm stuck on the ropes. I can't do anything, even though he's clearly right there and I could totally kick him right now.
Right.
I like that he does that stuff. And, dude, double moonsault again.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was awesome.
To have Carmelo roll away thinking that he lands on his feet and does another one. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was the second time he's done that.
Yeah, it's a really good move.
Yeah, and also I thought it was very cool that Andrade did the figure 4 homage to his father-in-law.
Yeah.
So... and he won. Not with the figure 4, but...
Yeah, it was a nice little roll-up at the end.
He did his finisher, which I don't know the name of.
No, he did a roll-up.
No.
He didn't finish him with his
He did his finisher, though.
Mm,
Maybe we saw different things. Okay. This one. Santos versus Apollo Crews.
it was great to see Apollo Crews once again
Yeah.
on television.
But, of course, some blasphemy had to happen in order to make Apollo lose. Hear our voices, WWE. Give Apollo a title shot.
Yeah, Crews got screwed over again. I don't understand. Give that guy a victory.
For reals. That's all we have to say.
Yeah.
We're so angry that
Yeah,
there's
it's
nothing
just-
left to say.
it's-
If he would have won, it would have been a different story.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see him get a victory.
It was cool though for Baron Corbin to be out there and
Yeah,
clutch
it's
that.
good. It's just good to see Apollo Crews coming from NXT, being a main roster guy, getting dropped to NXT to do good in NXT, to go back to the main roster.
With the guy who's helped bring up a lot of NXT people.
Yeah, and Baron
Corbin.
Corbin, dude, is like much respect for Baron Corbin.
For reals. Oh, you're good?
Yeah,
You,
I'm good.
like,
I'm
just
good. No,
stopped
no,
out
I'm
of
good.
nowhere.
No, I'm good.
Okay, next is Logan Paul approaching the ring to address the Cleveland crowd. With the expected boost, this is something I anticipated, and chance of approval for LA Knight, Logan brought out fake dignitaries of
Yeah.
Cleveland, which is pretty
Yeah,
funny.
it's very funny.
And Logan unveiled his banner to establish his greatness as the United States champ, which was defaced by LA Knight with a graffitied
Yeah.
across the banner, yeah. And LA Knight did come out to address Logan, but then he went backstage to find Logan's prime truck and drove it away
Well, he
with
was
Logan
actually
Paul.
going to look for another banner, like another banner.
Oh
or
yeah, he was
something
looking for
like
something to
that. And then that's when he's.
he saw the truck
Yeah.
and drove it away with it, and Logan Paul attempted to chase after him. I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be LA Knight. He's gonna win it.
Yeah, I actually kind of thinking of changing the pick that I chose.
He was trying to be edgy.
I chose Logan Paul because I felt like as a heel, it's his hometown. I think it's just a little bit better, but I kind of feel like maybe it's very possible now that LA Knight might be winning this championship.
Mhm.
Especially when I heard Logan Paul say that, a lot of people might not consider me a champion because I've only
Defended twice.
defended twice. And I'm just like, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, I didn't
So
either.
I was kind of like, well, yeah, I'm pretty sure then that pretty much kind of seals up the idea of him even continuing this as champ.
Right, and then like
Particularly
I said,
with all the other stuff going on
Yeah,
right now
the stuff
behind,
going on.
his personal life. So
mhm.
that kind of, it pretty much kind of pushes that. But just because I said it in the last one, my prediction video, I'm just going to sit there and say that Logan Paul's still going to win just because.
I think too, not only with the stuff that's going on right now, but I think he's gonna have an extended leave of absence as well because
Sure.
his wife has also been or was pregnant or announced
Oh.
their pregnancy not a while
Didn't know
ago. I think like 3 or 4 months ago.
Was not aware of that.
So, I think he'd probably take some time to be a father,
Yeah,
a new father.
that
So
makes sense.
yeah, that's my theory though. I'm pretty sure soon enough he'll go back to it once he gets everything figured out. But yeah, I did not know that it was only 2 times. I really thought it was more.
That's what I
So that
thought.
would only have been the
Rhodes?
the Cody Rhodes match, and then the Randy and Kevin triple threat.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I thought there was more.
Yeah.
I mean, the matches he's had are incredible, even when he wasn't United States champion.
Yeah, he does really good matches.
All right. Unholy Union, Alba Fire, and Isla Dawn versus Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair for the Women's Tag Team Championships. Now, let me say, I was scared in the beginning because I've seen it happen. Both groups have very bad communication between each other. Like I said before, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, they had bad communication. But Jade and Bianca, it's a different story. I'm going to be honest, it's a different story. I feel like Isla Dawn and, Alba have been around each other for a long time. They're literally built as tag team wrestlers. I was going to say people, but wrestlers. Whereas Jade and Bianca are just 2 soloists that just put together, and it just did not work. I mean, I'm going to be honest that when was that match? The Kabuki Warriors versus Jade Cargill and Bianca, that was
There was a lot of botches.
I
going
love
on
you, Asuka. And it wasn't Asuka's fault. Honestly, I felt like she did the best in that match.
Yeah.
But it was bad. It was hard to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jade is freaking an incredible athlete. I think she has a great look as for like she has a total package.
Mm-hmm.
But I think she still kind of needs a little bit of work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's kind of rough. It's hard to watch because I feel like she's either going to hurt herself or hurt somebody. And I mean, I'm not anybody to sit here and critique somebody that does something because I'm not doing that.
Exactly.
But I mean, the fact is that she was such a big deal when she signed, and it took a very long time for her to come in. Mm-hmm. I mean, it almost was a year before she even showed up in the ring. When she showed up in Royal Rumble, that little the time that she was in there, she did some pretty cool things. Mm-hmm. Like when she lifted up Nia Jax and and she threw her out of the ring with utter ease. Like all that stuff was built really, really good for her. But then when I see her in other matches now, where it's more of a focus with her, and she's like kind of taking more bumps, it's longer matches. It's kind of tough sometimes.
Well, there's a reason why she's paired up with someone like Bianca,
right? Because Bianca's really good, and Bianca carries the match. She's the one that's carrying the match.
Yeah.
Jade comes in and does a few cool moves and everything, but majority of the time it's Bianca that's in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were smart about teaming the two of them up.
Yeah.
However, it came with a lot of risk of them not communicating very well. Right. And speaking of which, there was 2 moments of super close 3 counts
that even the referee had to
freeze a little bit.
Yeah, had to hesitate a little bit.
Yeah, and it was on both teams. I'm gonna be honest, it was on both teams.
Yeah, it was bad.
But the match concluded with for some reason Blair Davenport.
Some shenanigans came into that play.
But if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Blair Davenport? Was she talking to Naomi for the most part? She was antagonizing Naomi.
Yeah, she has some little rivalry within the backstage.
Something smells a little bit
there's some.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Nothing like that. But she does match the vibe of the Unholy Union. I honestly feel like she could belong in that group at some point.
I think she pretty much already has.
But yeah, that's what it's looking like.
Yeah, no other reason for her to be coming out there.
Yeah, that's basically it. And, the Unholy Union, they retained, which was pretty shocking. And that ending was disappointing to me.
Yeah, for a DQ.
Yeah, DQ. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Tiffany Stratton's Money in the Bank, the new briefcase. I was right. It's pink and it has sparkles in it, as
It's not very shocking.
Not very shocking. No, I'm not a genius, but, it's nice to see that that's what it is. And, it'll be even nicer to see when she catches it in tomorrow on Nia, which is going to be very sad because she just got it done for her. But that's just what's going to happen. Yeah. We'll see.
Yep.
All right. To the most heartbreaking moment of them all. Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga versus DIY. I hate how they hyped up DIY so much, especially Johnny Gargano. Being a Cleveland native, and they made him lose.
Yeah.
I get it. It's the bloodline. They're supposed to be like this unstoppable force, especially Jacob Fatu. But it broke my heart.
Which is the reason why they got the championship, is because of how good Jacob Fatu has been. It's such a big deal that Jacob Fatu's there, and the work he's doing is incredible, and that's why they gave them the championship so quickly.
Yeah. It was a great match.
It was a good match.
As all DIY matches go.
That's
especially with opponents like Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu.
Exactly.
Beautiful finish by Jacob Fatu as always.
Yep.
And Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu won the tag team championships, which also supports my theory that I think that Cody Rhodes is losing, possibly. I'm still conflicted. However, I am leaning more towards that there is a big possibility that will happen. But part of me wants to believe that if Roman does come, he comes before the 3 count.
Yeah.
And stops that match.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I have a theory here, too, that instead of Tommaso betraying Gargano, it would be Gargano betraying Tommaso soon. Because Tommaso was pretty inactive in that match. I'm going to be honest, he was down for a long period of time. And I feel like if they want to push this angle, which I don't agree, they should not push the betrayal and enemy angle and rivalry yet. But I feel like Gargano would be angry at Tommaso, especially for not helping him in front of, the people of his hometown and stuff. I don't know if that's possible or not. I don't want it to be possible yet. I want it to happen for sure. I want them to have their rivalry.
Yeah, I think that's just where you're going on this, is that you just want that rivalry
I
to
want it
come
to
back,
happen.
but I don't think
However,
it's
I don't think it's going to happen
not
yet.
this time.
I'm just providing a theory that
Yeah,
maybe if it does happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was basically it. It was a very short SmackDown. I even...
well, I mean, everything's pretty much just going to be for SummerSlam, you know,
yeah.
so it's like you can't...
It's-
what else can
yeah.
you really do? You can't
Exactly.
really add a lot of storyline
True.
to build up to something when you already know what's happening.
I agree. Yeah, I I even looked up like to see if we missed anything. You know, usually like there's not matches we see, but no, it was like
Yeah.
it was all that basically we saw. And I honestly felt like once we hit the the final match or the main event was, I was like, damn, that was actually pretty quick.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
pretty fast.
All right, closing up here, we have a few side notes. They don't really transition very well with what we were talking about. But first, Mark Henry's son signs with the WWE. I think that's going to be pretty cool. I wonder if he's going to go with like a little mini strongest man like his father. I don't know. I would hope not, because I want him to establish his own character.
Right.
But, that'd be pretty interesting. You know, Mark Henry's been a staple.
Yeah, he was great.
Backstage and in the story of the WWE too, so.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
That's going to be interesting to see how his son, what his son's like, I guess gimmick's going to be, like, you know, how they're going to build him. I'm excited to see that.
Hopefully no hands were born, if you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Okay. Next is a leaked photo. Between Shane McMahon and Tony Khan, CEO of AEW. So this fueled some rumors that Shane would be joining his family's rival company, AEW. And there had already been some rumors about Shane potentially being interested in joining AEW. Which, to me, I'm kind of like, why?
You might be too young to remember this, but
I probably am.
when WCW was going on, Shane McMahon did do something involving WCW, and that's kind of after, like, then it all came out that WWE bought it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think that's the case here.
Well,
I don't think that it's like something like that's happening where WCW might actually be buying AEW. I highly doubt that.
But WCW buying AEW?
No, I'm sorry. I mean WWE. Yeah, WWE.
Well, Shane McMahon actually addressed these rumors, kind of debunked them a bit.
Mm-hmm.
He said that he and Tony have been around the same circles but never really met, and he was intrigued by Tony's passion and management of AEW. He congratulated Tony for AEW's 5-year anniversary.
Oh.
So he said it was nothing more than a meeting over the business of wrestling.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't really like, potentially signing. I mean, who knows? I mean, some trickery could happen.
That's true.
But it seems like that's not really the case. I mean, that's what they said. And finally, final side note. The Hardy Boys were spotted on Friday speaking with WWE officials, apparently. There were some rumors circulating that both men were interested in carrying the NXT tag team titles, championships that they never held before. It's been reported they've already filmed content for WWE. It says the Hardy Boys are both in TNA. The crossover is possible considering the NXT and TNA connection occurring right now, which allow TNA figures like Joe Hendry and Jordan Grace to appear on NXT and vice versa. Now, I'm excited for this.
I wonder if Broken Matt Hardy is going to be.
Well, most likely that's his
coming
persona
across as
right
well.
now.
Oh, so
in
he's
TNA, yeah, he's
okay.
the Broken.
So he's still.
He does his little laugh and all.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's cool.
Nice.
Part of me is kind of a little like, I don't know, like, I'm excited because it's like who they are and stuff.
Right.
However, like Jeff Hardy was concluding matches when he was last in WWE where not the greatest. He's aging. I mean, we've seen the clips too I'm sure we've all seen the clips of him kind of giving out in AEW matches. So I'm just hoping, I know AEW matches are a little more intense.
Right.
There's a lot more extreme factors to it.
Yeah.
So I hope that, within the context of WWE and especially in NXT, it's a little bit safer and it flows a little bit better. And it's going to be cool hearing that song play, that funky song with that funky dance. You know, Mom's going to go crazy for that one.
Yeah, that's true. She's going to go crazy for that. Well, yeah, that's going to be interesting to see. I'm looking forward to seeing who the champions will be when they come into NXT.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. Not too much because
Yeah.
all the happenings will be tomorrow.
Yep. All things gonna be. It's all gonna be seen tomorrow for SummerSlam.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching.